And we're live. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet, the best gambling show with the community. You guys are awesome. Great to see you guys. Hope everyone's doing good on this Friday night. I'm sure we're all feeling good. 10-3 the last 2 weeks on Patreon. The week before that, 3 weeks ago, we went hard on 3 games. We survived and won all of those. So this week on Patreon, I don't know if it's going to be as extensive and expansive a betting list, but we will be going hard on 1 game. So prepare your heart, maybe do a little bit of jog Sunday morning because we're going hard at 1 o'clock on 1 game. So prepare, get in your seat. Let's go. Great to see you guys. What's up, bodyguard? What's up, Ron? I saw you were sick, Ron. Get better, man. I haven't been sick in like 7 years, but dude, it used to stink. So yeah, I think the sun helps me. You guys see, got a little bit of a tan going. What's up, Wade? Giants beat Tampa in a thriller. Listen, if I listened to you guys every time you told me the Giants were going to win or cover a spread, listen, I would be broke. I would be filing bankruptcy, or maybe the IRS would be coming at me like Wesley Snipes. Like, guys, like just chill with the Giants. Like, I get it. Like, I think this Tampa Bay -6 might be dangerous. Like, I get where Wade's going. Wade's got good instincts, but he might be a little bit too bloodhound on this one. You guys know, like the bloodhounds, how they go searching for the kids, searching for the bodies. Yeah, but sometimes they get led in the wrong direction. I think you're maybe going a little bit hard with this. Listen, man, I've seen a lot of Tommy DeVito. Like, I like his moxie. The narrative is good around him, but he's just not a good football player. And you already saw Dexter Lawrence, probably the best player on the team, say like they should have stuck with Danny. And the reason why they're going away from Daniel Jones is because, listen, man, if he gets hurt, his contract's guaranteed for next year. So obviously you needed to get rid of Daniel Jones. But I don't know if Tommy DeVito's the guy. I mean, listen, he was third on depth chart behind Locke for a reason. And Locke went in there. Remember with that Philly game? A lot of you guys told me they would beat Philly as well. I'm not casting any aspersions. These games are tough, man, okay? I'm not casting any aspersions against anyone. But listen, Locke came in and he looked terrible. So Wade could just counter me with that point. But I do think Tommy DeVito is more vibes and narrative than actual good football. Like, he played at Syracuse. Me and my dad watched a lot of his games. Like, listen, he's not a bad player, but he's a very limited player when you get to the NFL level. What's up, Bobby Polo? Great to see you, man. What's up, Marine? Yeah, Marine, the chat's pretty live on Friday night. What's up, Wiz? Yeah, man, Wiz, I'm glad I got you. I don't know if I convinced you, but I'm glad a lot of you laid off the Steelers last night. I'm sure you saw the chat for the Week 12 Vegas spread picks. Go check that out if you haven't seen that. But I'm sure you guys saw the chat. People were acting like the Steelers -3.5, -4 was like the easiest pick of all time. And I'm not beating my chest over the Browns to cover. But I did feel like that game was more complicated than people went on. And in the spread video, I did say, outside of the Chiefs, I kind of think the Steelers are one of the luckiest teams in the league. I really do think that, even though we won a lot of money earlier in the year on the Steelers. What's up, Scott? The real DeMarque, no Brock, Purdy, and Bosa. Yeah, like, is Brock considered out? I saw he didn't practice today, and that's one thing we need to talk about. How about that game last night with famous Jameis Winston in the snow? Does it get better than that? Does that second half get better? Doesn't that get your juice pumping? I was literally standing up watching that whole second half. It got the tribal instinct in me going. What's up, Cows? Yeah, man, we got to see the official report on Purdy, because I was hearing John Lynch talk today, And I was concerned about it. And I was talking to Prestige about teasers yesterday on the Discord. And I just told him, like, listen, bro, like, yes, the 49ers are a teaser made in heaven against the Packers. And I might be wrong about the Packers winning that game, but we already knew Bosa was going to be out, but we didn't know Purdy would be a question. And when I heard John Lynch's interview, I got worried. Like, it seemed like the way he was talking, he was hinting towards Purdy not playing. So, listen, guys say a lot of shit. GMs say a lot of shit. San Fran, you can't really trust the injury reports because of what happened earlier this year with McCaffrey. But the fact that Purdy could be out of that game, you kind of got to go Packers, or you kind of got to sit it out. I know there's only like 13 games on the slate this week, but and what's up, Prestige? Hopefully you're doing good in Columbia. Chris, evening, John. What's up, family? Let's get this money. What's up, Chris? I hope I convinced you to lay off that teaser last night. I wish I could have gave you like more of like a rationale for why I felt like the Browns could do something. I didn't. I just said, like, please don't bet it. That was all the advice I had. What's up, G Ramos? What's up, Lawson? How you doing, Big Dart? I'm doing fucking excellent today. Thank you for asking, sir. Can break down that Broncos Raiders game. Thanks. Oh, I don't know if you guys want to hear this. I don't know if you guys want to hear this. Guys, I kind of think the Raiders cover, and I really love it. And I was looking at the betting splits, and I looked at the betting splits for the Thursday night game, and you guys were right there with the public, but I'm not even casting aspersions and saying like the Steelers were a public play or the Broncos are a public play, because all the money men are on those teams as well. So it's like not like a tilt like we had when the Steelers had 8% of the bets, but like 90% of the money week 2 when they went to Denver. So here, let's just get to this game, man. My long shot of the week is Raiders money line. Do we want to lay the 6 and sweat and do that? Maybe not. Maybe not. Am I itching to go against the Denver Broncos again? No, not really. Am I itching to go against the combo, the conglomeration of Sean Payton and Vance Joseph? No, I'm not, especially with Antonio Pierce and a new offensive coordinator cycled in. But I think the Raiders defense can contain this Broncos offense. And if you look at what the Broncos offense did against the Falcons, it wasn't elaborate. It wasn't any sort of evolution. It was a lot of quick screens. They didn't run the ball well. They gave up a lot of quick pressures, but Atlantis just isn't coached good enough to really get a good look for us to get a standpoint. I'm not saying completely crumble up the paper. That was that Falcons-Broncos game. That was a completely brilliant performance from the Broncos. That defense was bend but don't break, and they completely throttled the Falcons' offense in key situations. But I really think the Raiders can do this. I really do. Like, I'm getting vibes. Remember that week when I said Patriots would beat the Bears and the Panthers would beat the Giants? I'm getting vibes. And with the Raiders, sometimes you might want to go the points, because we know Antonio Pierce, he's one of those coaches. Remember McVay 2 years ago? He kind of doesn't coach to win. He coaches to cover. He was kind of coaching that way in the Dolphins game last week, and it unraveled at the end. But I really think the Raiders are the long shot of the week. I mean, there's not a lot of long shots you can sink your teeth into this week. If you're going to do a long shot, I would go Raiders money line. I think this Raiders defense can contain them. And I think Antonio Pierce, for all my criticisms of him, he gets those guys playing hard, and on defense, they tackle well. And that's what you need to do against the Broncos. Broncos offense also gives up the most quick pressures in the league, a lot of pre-snap penalties. That puts Bo in bad situations, and they can't really hit you down the field, which is kind of what you need to do against the Raiders. You kind of need to spread them out and work those safeties. I think Crosby has a big game, and I'm liking some of these periphery options on the Raiders' defensive line. Now, you do worry about the Raiders' offense. You do worry about Minshew. You do worry about the play calling on the Raiders' offense. But that's why it's a long shot. Trap team, what's up? What's up, D? Bucks will torch them by double digits. I kind of think so. Is Mike Evans back? Can someone get me that? Because he was on the practice field Monday, and I haven't heard much news coming out of that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What's up, C. McCauley? Best 3 money line games. I mean, money line guys, like I'm just not big into like betting like minus 400s or minus 500s. But like if you go money line, like give me like Lions, Chiefs, Fins, maybe Texans sprinkled in. Yeah, but Wiz, I'm excited about the Raiders. Maybe I'm off on it. I'm sure you sat through that game against the Dolphins. I sat through it Monday morning. I saw some good things and I saw some terrible things, and that's what you get with the Raiders, and that's why they're a long shot. Larry, we will have a teaser on Patreon. We've been killing them, but I don't do the teasers you guys like. I do those 2-team 6-point teasers with a minus 110 bet. But if you put them together the last 3 weeks, you could have done a 4-team 6-pointer and they would have all hit. So that's what I'm doing on Patreon this week. I'm staying to the system. What's up, Bree? Okay, Bree says Evans is on player prop. So like, yeah, that's probably a good indication he's in. Yeah, flex money. Don't bet the Raiders. Our whole starting secondary is out. Yeah, but is that really the strength of the team? Like, listen, if I don't, obviously, like I'm not telling anyone to go bet the Raiders with their hard-earned money. Like that's not what we want to do here. But this slate isn't exactly wide. Like I said, like there's games I want to go hard on this week. It's just, you know, like after the 2 games I want to go hard on, there are some limited options, especially if we don't know if Purdy's going to be playing in that Packers 49ers game. And we don't know what that's going to do to the spread. Oh, people said I sound like RFK Wade. Jesus, RFK talks like, yeah, you can't take that vaccine or it's going to give you autism. It can give you autism if you take that vaccine. Purdy's out officially. Thank you, Sylvester. What's up, Lauren? Lauren, I like Zona too. I just feel like we need to walk on eggshells on our tippy toes, like sneaking in, like when you're a little kid going like to sneak the extra cookie. I feel like Seattle's run defense has been good. I think that game's tough. I like the under in that game more. I like the total in that game. I really like the under in that one. Yeah. RFK really does have that yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like Cows, I kind of feel like Seattle's doing better. Like I just can't really like make a case to bet the game. Maybe when Lauren comes on, maybe I'll bring her on with Chris. Maybe she can make a case for it. I just think that's a stay away one, but I get it with a slate with only 13 games. We only have 12 games now after the Thursday nighter, and we have a Monday night game that is very, very tough to call with a lot of Chargers players injured. Betting and ARBs. What's up? What's up, betting? Lawson, tell me what you think about this teaser. Chiefs minus half a point. I like it. Bucks +4 and Fins +2.5 at minus 120. I love it. I love it. I love Philly too. And someone has a question about the Philly line, and I'm going to explain it on Patreon. Let's get to the Patreon questions. Warren Flowers, you demand. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Warren. Great to see you, Warren. Hope you're doing good tonight. Stephen Laidlaw, with Houston being 10-1 against the spread this year in the first half, who tipped that? Who tipped that last week? I said Houston first half. I'm not betting it. I'm going full game against Dallas. But if you would have followed the first half, you would have hit the double entendre last Monday night. How about that? I know a lot of you guys didn't trust that Houston -7, but sometimes we have to lay points. With Houston being 10-1 against the spread this year in first half this year, make this a bet. No, Steven, I'm not looking to bet that market in this game. I feel like the Texans are a good teaser option this week. And yes, Tennessee, I get it wanting to get against Tennessee. I get it. It's just we get irregular performances, and Steven wants to go alt line in the Texans Tennessee game. I don't trust the Texans offense to go alt line. Like there's only like 4 offenses I trust in this league to go alt line. Like I trust the Bills offense. I trust the no names offense. I trust the Ravens offense and maybe the Eagles offense and the Lions offense. Those offenses, those coaching staffs, if we want to go alt line. In the past, we used to go alt line with Miami. I mean, I know we went alt line with the Steelers against the Chargers this year. But I'm very selective of what I go alt line, and I love the Texans, but dude, there's limitations. They should have beat the Cowboys by fucking 40 points, Steve. Matty Zang, Miami -7, Commanders -10, Eagles -2.5, Ravens -2.5. What's your take on this, John? I like it. It's just once you start stacking up 4 spreads without teasing it, you know the options are limited, and you know one of those isn't going to hit. But I love Miami. I love the Commanders. Eagles, I like it. I like it. It's just I'm taking that down to Sunday night, Monday night for me. Like with the Ravens, that's another one. I'm taking it down. I love the Ravens this week, but there are concerning signs. But I don't know about you guys. Like I know in the West Coast, the injury news comes out later, but have you guys seen this Chargers injury report? I know this Chargers injury report has been bad this whole week, this whole year, but it's really bad this week. Like I think Khalil Mack plays, but McConkey doesn't look like he's going to play. We don't know if Bosa is going to be back. Bosa's been banged up the whole year. Derwin James is questionable. Pretty much every important player they have is questionable outside of King Herbert. So I don't like betting the injury report. I feel like that can get us into trouble. It got us into trouble this year when Seattle was playing Atlanta. But still, I do think this injury report is making me feel more confident about the Eagles. The Eagles were a money pick on Tuesday. It's just a little bit nervous about the spot for the Eagles, but they should win the damn game. Wheezy, I want to go hard in the Fish Dolphins. Your thoughts, Wheezy? You'll find out 10:30 tonight on Patreon. Can't say I hate it. Can't say I hate it. Drew Half loves snow, cold weather games like this. Man, it was like a movie. Like someone said in the Patreon comments, it was like a movie. It was cinematic. And just seeing Jameis slang it last night was special. And like I said on Instagram, it brought me back to the days when I fell in love with the NFL's like NFL late 90s. Like I'm not saying Jameis is equal to Steve McNair or Brett Favre, but the way those two guys played the fucking game, I see Jameis in it, and I just feel like Jameis should be a mandatory starting quarterback for one of these low-tier teams, just for vibes, just for our entertainment. Like, what do a lot of these teams have to lose? Like, what do the Raiders have to lose? Like, starting Minshew, like, put Winston in there next year. Let's see what happens if they don't get a young guy. Derek! Hey, bro, keep up the awesome work, and let's go. Let's go, Derek. Great to see you, man. You had to take 2 games off the 7-point teaser. Which would they be? Also, what do you like better for a survivor pick? Tampa or Denver? Tampa. Okay, Washington -3. Stick with it. Detroit -0.5 point. Stick with it. KC -4. Stick with it. Miami +0. Stick with it. Houston -0.5 point. Stick with it. Philly +4. Baltimore +4. Let's take Philly off. Let's take Baltimore off. Let's go with those first 5. Now, Philly, listen, like I think Philly wins the game. I think they win and cover. It's just the fundamentals of teasers. You like teasing games with lower point totals. Now, you can say Lawson, like Detroit Colts is the highest point total of the fucking week. Yes, it's like 52, 51 and a half. When I picked the Baltimore Chargers one, it was 50. But still, I get a little bit nervous about that. Baltimore +4 should be good. With Philly, I'm laying off on it, man. I'm laying off on it. So I'll take Philly and Baltimore off that list. I think I'm actually mixing up the games. And thank you, Pack Attack, for joining on Patreon. Welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the Moneymakers. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, no, Tank, no problem, Tank. I really like the I really like the Ravens this week. It's just fucking nervous, man. Fucking nervous. But like I was saying last week, like, listen, I really got on the Ravens for that performance. I felt like that performance was garbage, but I still feel like the Steelers are the luckiest team in this league outside of the Chiefs. I feel like the Steelers are the luckiest team in this league outside of the Chiefs, and I stand by my point. Like, they're kicking 6 field goals a game, and Boswell's hitting 58 yarders every fucking week. Like, one week they kicked like 5 field goals. All 5 were from 50 yards. Like, bro, that's not sustainable. So, and also, like, the Ravens were about to take over that game when Justice Hill got the ball taken away from him. Like, a lot of that stuff isn't sustainable, and I think the Ravens recover. So yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Adrian, John, what do you think sprinkling some money on the 49ers money line as first-time underdogs this season? I like that, Adrian, until I saw Brock Purdy's injury status. That's why we led the show with that. We can't fucking touch that game. We can't even tease it if there's even a question, a hint that Brock Purdy's out. And I was looking at the injury reports before we went live, and it looked like Purdy might miss the game. Now, people on the chat are saying he's out. I can't go verify the information because West Coast. Like, I was trying to verify the information 30 minutes before the show, and it just didn't go. So just be careful with that, Adrian. I think we got other bones to eat on Patreon. Richard Lockhart, what do you think about the Giants this game with DeVito getting +6? Rich, I like the fundamentals of it. And 6 has been a magic number this year. Listen, if you're +6, it's been a fucking magic number. Let's be honest. But I listen, I don't know if this Giants team is going to play harder. I think there's more wrong with this Giants team than Daniel Jones. I know he's an easy target. Like, we saw the lady on ESPN making fun of him, and I didn't like that. Like, I've always been making fun of Daniel Jones, but I didn't like that lady making fun of him. And plus, she has 2 DUIs too, which is also just like, dude, Daniel Jones never did anything fucking reckless like that. Not hating anyone who gets a DUI, but like, I'm also not throwing stones in the glass house. Like, I have my issues, and she's like saying Daniel Jones like doesn't know how to like talk because he wrote a fucking speech. Like, okay, like, he went to fucking Duke, lady. But anyways, but yeah, man, I would just lay off the Giants. I do like your instincts, Rich. I think this game is more dangerous than people are letting on. I don't think it's the slam dunk. Bucks -6. Like, listen, I'm thinking about betting Bucks. But I don't think it's the slam dunk one that everyone's making it out to be. It does seem a little bit too easy, kind of like the Steelers last night. And I told you guys. Waheed, what's your best 3-team parlay against the spread? I'm liking Miami, Tampa, Carolina. What do you think? Carolina? Okay, against the spread. Well, against the spread, let me go. It's just off the top of my head. I will go Cards Hawks under because I don't want to give the Patreon bets. And plus, I don't know exactly what we're doing on Patreon. I'm still thinking and got to look at the final injury reports. But let's go. Let's do a little bit of a different one. Let's go Raiders +6. Let's go Cardinals and Hawks under. And let's go Fins -7. Okay, Christopher Escobedo. What's up, Chris? Sup, famos? Yo, why is Philly -3 and +100? So when a spread is like that at +100, it means the book is leaning to -2.5, which means any minute it's going to be -2.5 or -115, -120. Um, People like me, when I see like a -3 at +100, I would prefer to take that than a -2.5 for -120. A lot of you guys don't mind going -200, -230. I don't like fucking doing that. I like getting value for my money. And especially since I have a lot of people on Patreon, I find like people betting like -200, -250 exploitative. So the +100 to -120 is a big enough gap for me to say, like, sometimes it is worth the risk, even though you do risk a push, because we know that's going to be a close game regardless. So, yeah, that's what it is, Chris. They're leaning to -2.5. Chris, John, I would like to come on tonight. I feel this is a big money week, and I need to discuss money with you and the Patreon family. We'll get you on, Chris. We'll get you on with Lauren. Jerome Taylor, hey John, what do you think about this 6-point teaser? San Fran +7.5. Jerome, I don't know if we could do San Fran this week with Purdy possibly being out. Like, we just can't fucking do it. Let me go check the spread in that game, by the way, so we can just get some indication. Because a lot of people on the chat are saying he's out, but like, okay, let's see what the spread is. Okay, it's +5.5. So Purdy is out. But guys, wouldn't it be more for Purdy? Like, I know Shanahan has won a lot of games with a backup quarterback, but wouldn't it be more than that? But one I really like this week is the Packers team total over 23.5. But I wonder if that brings that bet into question, because do the Packers need to score as many points? I really like the over in this 49ers Packers game because I think both defenses are really overrated. I really want to get against this 49ers defense, especially without Bosa. And the secondary of the 49ers is absolutely terrible. And I feel like the Packers offense is due for a good game. I don't know about you guys, but does this call my over 23.5 Packers team total into question? So, Jerome, I don't think we can tease the San Fran. So if you did like a 6-point teaser, it'd be 11.5. I still don't think we can fucking do it. I would tease down Miami. I would tease down Miami or Houston. So Jerome saying San Fran +7.5. We already addressed that. Chargers +9. Yes, I think that Chargers game is within 6.5 points. So I think you'll be good. Cardinals +7. I like it. I like the Cardinals +7. I do. I can't complain. I can't complain. I would like to see you get that at +7.5, but it is what it is. As long as your book has push protection for teasers. So that's important. Okay, Adam Morea. Love the show. Great game. Why we live football. Football's the fucking best, man. Nothing can compete with it. A 2-win Browns team putting up a magisterial performance on live TV. We all thought the game would stink, and then it turns into an instant classic. Let's go. NFL is top dog for a reason. Brandon Campbell. Hey, Lawson, great call on the Cleveland game. Thank you, Brandon. I don't know how you do it, but keep up the great work. We're trying, Brandon. Like the 10-3 the last 2 weeks, and then even the week before the last 2 weeks, we fucking made a ton of money. It's just, yeah, man. A lot of people were disappointed last week, but a lot of people didn't take my advice. People felt too flamboyant and didn't respect the slate like they should have last week, but that's not my fault. But yeah, Brandon, we're just fucking working hard, man. And that's what we do on Patreon. We just work hard, and we do brag about it, but also the work speaks for itself. So hopefully I don't get burned this week. Not going to be as many bets this week on Patreon, but we will be going hard on one game. Not college fun. No one get too excited, but we will be going hard on one game. Okay, let me get to your question, Brandon. What's your strongest confidence money line game of these two? Commanders over Cowboys, Tampa Bay over Giants, Commanders over Cowboys. I fucking love the Commanders this week. Why haven't we talked about the Commanders? We're 41 minutes in the show. Why haven't we talked about the Commanders yet? Finally, someone brings them up. Been waiting to talk about the Commanders. I fucking love the Commanders this year. I don't know if you notice. I picked them every week. But yeah, I love the Commanders. Brandon, please don't tell me you're thinking about like going like laying a band on the Commanders money line. But I do like that. Okay, Michael Killens. Would you place a futures bet either way here? Arizona to make the playoffs, yes, minus 135. No, plus 110. I would go yes, minus 135. But you guys know I don't like laying like minus 135. Like all my future bets that I posted, we're looking good on all three, by the way. All my futures bets I posted on Patreon. The Atlanta one might not be looking good for the NFC South, to be honest. But I think that'll still hit. So all three are looking good as of right now. I prefer like the farthest I'll go on a future bet is like minus 120. But I might prefer to go like Cardinals to make the playoffs and to win the NFC West. And then you'll get plus money. It'll be riskier, of course, but then you'll get plus money, Mike. Cows! Lawson, what's up? I'm liking 49ers. I like Zona, but Seattle plays them tough. Yeah, dude. Zona, Seattle, I feel like is one we just can't bet. Like, we've been getting against Seattle this whole year. Like I said on the video I recorded Thursday, like, we're 4-0 fading Seattle this year. I just don't want to do it again. I like Rams upsetting the Eagles. What do you think? Once again, thanks for cashing this year. The Rams-Eagles is dangerous, man. And I was misspeaking earlier. My bad about that. Because I'm so focused on this Ravens-Chargers game the whole day, I misspoke. Okay. Let me get my thoughts together. Listen, we had the Rams on Patreon last week. And I like it. Whenever you got Nakua, whenever you have Kupp, whenever you have Williams healthy, you really feel like this Rams offense is one of the most underrated offenses, maybe one of the most effective offenses in the league. But I would not get against it. I would not get against the Eagles in this situation. I do see what you're saying, Cows. I do. I just wouldn't get against the Eagles in this situation. Ron Borkwin. Hey, Lawson, I've been working and sick this week. I haven't had a chance to look at much. Any good 3-4 team 6-point teaser you like? Well, here's my teaser list that I'm working on. I like the Texans -8 and the bring them down to -2. Or we can go 7. Like, let's do 7. Let's bring the Texans down to -1. Let's bring the Fins down to a pick 'em. Let's bring the Bucks down to a pick 'em. Let's bring the Chiefs down to where are we at with the Chiefs? If we go 7, we bring them down to 4. Make sure you get the Chiefs like below 6, please, because I kind of think the Panthers keep the game within like 7 points. And I like the Lions. I really like the Lions. So only one I would leave out of that group is Bucks. I would also think about putting the no names on that. As long as you're getting the no names, like as long as you push past like that 6.5 marker. Prestige. Any danger with these teams? Cardinals +7.5, San Fran +10.5, Lions on a teaser. Lions good. Cardinals +7.5. Like, man, it is a little bit dangerous, but I think that's going to be a close game. I like the under. I think it's going to be low scoring, so that's good for teasers. The San Fran +10.5, like I even told you yesterday, I thought maybe I was being overly cautious when I talked to you yesterday, Prestige. But yeah, it looks like Purdy's out. So I just feel like we can't do that. I feel like we can't do that at all. But that's just me. Okay, let me just reload the Patreon question, see if we got any more. Um, okay, here we go. Chris, you're the only one getting Detroit -9, man. You're the only one getting Detroit -9. Your book is fucking you. Like, but yeah, like some of the spreads are out of control. I agree. Like, yeah, Texans at like 7.5 on some books, 8 on some books. Washington -10.5. Washington -10 on mine. Andre Toussaint. That's like has to be like French Canadian, right? Or Haitian. I really want to say that last name, Toussaint. Hey, John, like this weekend, let's get this money. AJ, what's up, AJ? Yeah, let's get this money, man. Mr. Mick, Detroit -7, Miami money line, Raiders +6.5. I like that. I don't want to send anyone into a kamikaze mission with the Raiders, but I'm not gonna lie. I like the Raiders this week. What's up, Raldy? This is the first time I've seen Raldy. Dude's been a long time Patreon subscriber. I think he started following me in fucking December 2020 when I was in my fucking parents' house. You guys remember the old studio that had the fucking cracked dresser where I put money? My dad still keeps my money that I'm saving there. But yeah, like Raleigh was on the ground floor when I was on my fucking parents' house at my lowest. Raleigh, John, what do you think about the Titans +7.5? Stroud really bad as a favorite against the spread. He can be. And like a lot of times we made money on Houston last year. Now that I actually think about it, outside of the Colts game to finish off the year, they might have even been like +2 that game. But I'm trying to think. I'm trying to validate your point because I don't want to go this year. I want to think about last year because we really pounded the Texans last year. And Raleigh, I know you love Stroud too, but I'm trying to think. When we bet Houston last year and made a ton of money, were we betting Houston plus money or were we laying points later in the year? I tend to agree with Raleigh. I'm just trying to remember. I have like a photographic memory of every spread. Like I remember every single spread we bet this year. You can go to week 1. I'll remember every fucking spread we bet. I just can't remember back to last year. Okay, let me just read Raleigh's question. John, what do you think about the Titans +7.5? Stroud really bad as a favorite against the spread, and last week was his first ever as a 7-point favorite. Think they were lucky to cover. I don't think they were lucky to cover. Like I had that bet early in the week. I was ready to go. I don't think they were lucky. I don't think they were. I think the Texans are fraudulent with that O-line. I agree with the O-line. I'm worried about the Texans. And I would not lay 8 points with the Texans. I would not. But guys, Raleigh, I'm not seeing many silver linings out of the Titans. Listen, like I thought the Titans could maybe upset my Vikings last week or at least cover the spread, right? And they made bonehead plays that cost them the game. Like I think they had like most penalty yards in the league last year, but that's the problem with the Texans. They have the most offensive penalties in the league, the Texans, and they haven't really cleaned it up. But I agree with you. You just can't lay 8, 7.5 points with the Texans in a divisional game. I think the only way you could bet the Texans in this game is teasing it. I do think Will Levis has looked better the last 2 weeks, but that's not saying much. Like that's like saying a pig looks better with a little bit of lipstick. But he has looked better the last 2 weeks. And we did say that about Bryce Young, and it seemed to prove and help us. I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting. And Raleigh, you always have a good take on this. But no, I do not feel comfortable laying 8, 7.5 in that game. Like Chris said, some of these spreads are out of control. But we gotta do what we need to do. J Bar Lawson, I gotta go Cardinals. A little nervous, but can't go Seattle. Don't trust the coach. I don't trust the coach either with Seattle. They're one of the worst coach teams, like the Titans. Like if the Titans had a better coach, we would be money picking the Titans this week. I just can't do it again with Callahan. Like he's a really bad coach, and I'm not picking on him because obviously the roster's not that great. But I don't think the roster's as bad as the results have been. Let's just say that. Here's my concern about going the Cardinals against the Hawks, Jay. The Cardinals have been really great on offense this year when they ran the ball. The only week we saw the Cardinals offense play well when an opposing team stopped the run was at Miami. Other than that, there's been 4 games where teams stopped the run, and Kyler Murray's been absolutely useless. But I do feel like Kyler Murray is peaking. And I do feel like in this situation, Geno versus Kyler Murray, you want to go Kyler Murray because he's going to make the bigger plays. He's going to make the better decisions, and he's also going to take care of the ball better. And sometimes turnovers are luck. Sometimes there's variance with turnovers. But as you guys know on Patreon, we've been getting against the Seahawks an awful lot this year. I don't think those Geno Smith turnovers are luck or happenstance or it's just variance. Those are bad turnovers. And he hasn't done anything to really cut them out. So I feel like Jonathan Gannon's one of the most undervalued coaches in this league. Pew, pew, pew. And that's why the pick is the Cardinals. I just worry about this Hawks front seven getting better because, yes, they probably are the worst run defense if you look at the whole year. But the last 3 weeks, ever since they got in Robertson Harris from the Jags, they do seem to be more sturdy and they do seem to be more confident against the run. They look really good against the Rams run game. They look really good against the 49ers run game. That's tough. Tyler Sav. What's up, Tyler? Okay. Hey, John, how do you feel about, okay, let me see. Commanders -10. Tampa -4. Houston -4. Eagles +1. I would just take the Eagles off of there and maybe add the Fins. That's what I would do, Tyler. Yeah, I feel like bringing Houston down to -4 isn't the greatest fundamentals because, you know, if they win by 3 points, you're shit out of luck. Same thing with Tampa. You just got to play the key numbers. Like, listen, you passed the 6.5, you passed the 6, you passed the 7. Great. Okay, great. It's just like when you're at 4, you're still going to get fucking problems with the 3. You know what I'm saying? So you might as well just like factor in like Dolphins with that and take off. I assume it's a parlay and add the Dolphins and maybe bring those Houston and Tampa Bay games down to like 2.5 if you have the power on your book. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yo, Prestige, thank you for the super chat. John, we've been going hard the last 5 weeks. I'm able to travel freely between Colombia, San Diego, and Vegas. I'm so thankful for all the help and support. Prestige, I'm thankful for you, man. Because you helped me in my time of need when I was really worried about the YouTube channel and how we're getting shadow banned. So you at least gave me some ideas where I can work on in the off season. So I really appreciate that. So, and it's always great to have you on the executive club. Like you guys showing support, dude. It means everything. So I hope you're enjoying Colombia. It's a great country. Me and my wife went 6 months ago. Great country, man. Yeah, I do prefer Brazil though. Like, come on, man. Okay. Trey McBride equals best tight end in the NFL. I kind of agree. Chris, Lauren, you want to come on? And I want to see if D wants to come on. Brett Holloway's just became an executive club member. And Brett, if you can't get into executive club Discord, send me a message. But either way, I'll send you the link later. You should be able to find it in the chat, but just let me know. Okay, Raldy's just commented again. I want to see what Raldy said. I want to see what Raldy said in response. Because Raldy, we got to respect Raldy. Like, he's an old head. And one thing about Raldy, like, when everyone was going to Browns against the Chargers, this dude, when everyone was going to Browns, when they played the Chargers, he was on the Chargers. So, like, that's the type of personality he has, which is welcome. Okay, yeah, Lauren, no rush. Okay, let me see this. Wait for it. I don't see how you can say that trust Kyler more than you were Geno. Geno's been way more consistent than Kyler has leading up to this point. Has Kyler even churned the ball over much this year? I mean, Geno's. Look, can someone bring up Geno's turnovers? And I think Kyler Murray. Listen, even if you factor in the first 3 weeks where he was garbage, okay. He was garbage against the Chargers on Monday night as well. Okay. If you look at Kyler Murray's full season, he's been a top 10 quarterback. And I would not smug my nose if someone went and put a future bet on him 40, 45 to 1 to win MVP. Because he's trending in the right direction. And he's not churning the ball over. And he's buying more time than Geno. Like, we got to look at the turnovers at a certain point. On this Cardinals team, like, I know everyone thinks that the Cardinals with Cliff, 4 wide receivers, let's slang it, let's let Kyler cook. That's not really their MO. They run the ball better than the Seahawks. Seahawks haven't been able to run the ball the whole year. They play better defense than the Seahawks. The last 6 weeks, the Cardinals have been one of the top defenses in the league. Do I think maybe that's a little bit of luck? Yeah. But still, Jonathan Gannon's a very good coach, and they got the coaching advantage. And I think Kyler Murray has the head advantage over Geno. Like, I kind of get where Wade's going here. Like, I kind of like Geno's explosion this year. He's looked really great at times, but the turnovers has just been bad. And the Seahawks offensive line's a fucking liability. I mean, the Seahawks offensive line, they can't run block, they can't pass block, and that's one thing that's leading to Geno's turnovers. Yeah, like D, you know what I'm saying, D? Like, it's like I see where he's going with Geno. Like, it's just Kyler's been phenomenal this year, man. Like, it's just like, look at the last 6 weeks. Like, I know it's a full year. I know we have 12 games, but fuck, he's been good the last 6 weeks. Yeah, 11 interceptions. And can someone go look up the fumbles for Geno? Like, I haven't even seen a lot of fumbles out of Kyler. And he's always buying time, and he's always getting blitz from the edge where you think that would cause more turnovers or at least more fumbles, and he's just been taking care of the ball. Like, I feel like the Cardinals are just like a better, like, cold weather football team than the Hawks. Like, we are getting to damn near December right now, and you have to run the ball. You have to play defense, and I do think the Seahawks defense is getting better, but like I said, I don't want to bet this game. Like, I think if you bet this game, you are fucking wild. Maybe live bet it, but I don't know, man. Like, this Cardinals defense has surprised me the whole year. Like, I think their secondary is really bad. It's just, I think they'll be able to get a little bit of pressure on Geno, and when he gets pressure, the turnovers start flying. What's up, Kendry? Thank you, Kendry. Let's get this money, man. Let's get this money. Okay, 3-3 in the last 6. No, Ty. I get it. Don't feel confident on the Raiders. Like, I used the word long shot. Like, it's a long shot. Like, if you want to play the Raiders money line, I'm not smugging my nose. The spread, I actually think, is a little bit more risky because because they could get blown out. It's very possible. It's very possible. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Geno, listen, like, I I'm not even like beating Wade up. Like I see where he's going with it. Jameis Winston in Seattle would be nice. We need Kels. We need Jameis Winston playing. We need just someone in the NFL league office to say, like, listen, Titans, if you don't get a fucking another young quarterback in here, we're forcing you to play Jameis Winston. We need the vibes, okay? One of these bad teams has to start Jameis Winston all 17 games. Or they force out the owner. They create like a sexual assault charge to take him out. You know how they force some teams to do hard knocks. Listen, Jameis Winston needs to be a starter in this league at all times. It's just we need the vibes, man. He's so fun to watch play, especially when he gets hot. I'm not trying to glaze Jameis Winston. Obviously, he has serious problems. Trapped out DVDs. What's up, man? First time I've seen you in the chat. Maureen, do you think Indy can keep it close? I do. But also, if there's one team to bury another team, it's Detroit. That's the whole thing. And Indy's one thing Detroit does that I think can really stifle Indy is, firstly, Detroit plays a lot of man-to-man defense. I feel like the way to attack Detroit is you got to throw it 35, 40 times, especially with Aiden Hutchinson out. Like, I know they got Zay Smith. It's fucking nice. But I do feel like that pass rush is a little bit lacking. But do the Colts, outside of Josh Downs, have receivers that create man-to-man separation? Like, I feel like Pittman's good against zones. But can he really create man-to-man separation against the Detroit defense that will get up, get physical with you, press man-to-man? I don't know. I don't think so. And then also one thing Detroit does that's really underrated, they're very good in their run fits, and we know that's what the Colts want to do. Now, we know the Colts are a different run offense when Anthony Richardson's in there. Like, one thing I said a few weeks ago that was relevant, they're averaging 5.3 yards per carry when Richardson's the quarterback. 3.3 with Joe Flacco. He just adds a different dimension. James, what do you think about the Niners game? Lay off of it, James. Purdy's out, from my understanding. Purdy's out. Yeah, Chris, I'll send the invite, man. Lauren, I'll send you an invite as well. And guys, I think we'll have one soccer bet this week up on Patreon. So that's what we got. Yo, Appy, what's up? What's up, Appy? Let's finish strong, man. Let's finish strong. Yeah. The two bets we got up, I feel really good about. I don't know how much we're going to do this weekend. I still have to think about it. But one of those games I already posted we're going hard on. So prepare yourselves. Should be fun. Hopefully fun. If everyone gambles responsibly, because we went 10-3 the last 2 weeks, and even the week before that, the last 3 weeks, actually the last 5 weeks, we've been in money every fucking week, and yet there's always people saying they're losing money, and I don't get it. Okay, let me send an invite to Lauren, then I'll send an invite to Chris. Okay, my bad for sniffling in the mic. Okay. Yeah, no Purdy. It seems like we don't have any Purdy. I haven't got confirmation, but we saw the spread go from, plus 2.5. We heard the news with John Lynch on the radio today. Spread jumps up to 3. Now it looks like Purdy didn't practice today. Spread jumps up to 5.5. Seems like he's not going to play. Over under on the Niners game. James, I love the over the whole week. I have it as a money pick. But now I just fucking rip up the paper, throw it out. I don't know. I honestly don't know. What did Vegas do to the total? Because when I picked it on Thursday, it was 47.5. And one total I really liked in that game. It's kind of like a esoteric market, but I really like the Packers team total over 23.5. I really want to get against both of these defenses, but I don't feel like we have the opportunity if Purdy's out. Thank you, 3 a.m. Okay. Larry C. John, do you think the Giants will now tank with Jones gone? Yes, I do think. But they don't need to tank too hard, man, because that's a bad football team. That's a football team without a lot of pride, too. No, wait, I wasn't trying to beat you because, like, I think that Seahawks Cardinals games like a lot closer than people think. Like, I don't think that's like a Cardinals money pick by any means. It certainly isn't. I do like Nico Collins receptions, but I would go yardage with him, even though it's high. Rams are intriguing as well. I just don't really want to do that. Okay. Hey, Lawson, thanks so much for doing this. I've been betting since 98, and you're the best I've seen. Thank you. Thank you, Adam. We try, man. Like, I wonder how betting was in the 90s. Like, I've always bet with my dad, but, you know, we weren't betting like we were now, but I always do wonder how it was betting in the 90s. I do wonder how the spreads were because, like, listen, like, I really started slamming the bets like in like 2008, like 2005. So like 90s was a little bit different. I would just get the card where you get the college list and you get the NFL list and you pick 5 games and you do the parlay. Would hit like 7 a year. So my dad would obviously bet singles and shit, but that's my betting as like a kid and teenager. So that was always fun. But I do wonder how it was betting in the 90s. Maybe the spreads were better. I think they were slower to react. I think you could outwork them more too. Okay, let me send the invite to Chris. Yeah, Lauren, you got to pull over, man. Because we pretty much said everything we needed to say tonight. I feel like we got the Purdy news. I wanted to get that in, even if he wasn't ruled out. So we got that in, and that was the main thing I wanted to get in. Okay. Yeah, Chris, I'm sending an invite now. Okay. Yeah, I sent it to your Patreon. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so Purdy's out. Yeah, I do think the bookies were better. Especially now with like the parlays. Like, I actually think it being illegal was healthier for people. I do, like, sometimes things being illegal is actually healthier. Like, even like with like the weed now. Sometimes I feel like when I go to my city, like, the only industry, and I can't say this as a YouTuber, okay? But like sometimes I feel like when I go to my city, like the only thing we have left is like fucking weed and vape shops and TikTok. Like, other than that, like, what economy? Like, but it's like old Rust Belt where I'm from, so like there's fuck all. Yo, Chris, are you in your house?
Yes, sir.
Looks fucking comfy there. You got a nice like little George Hamilton glaze. So glad I'm not the only white guy with a tan.
No, I'm in Florida, brother. So I have the sun on my side. You know.
Thank
Um,
God.
yeah.
Dude, that should be
Orlando.
helping you sleep, man. Like, anyways, like, send me a voice message on Discord, but that should be helping you sleep, man. So at least you got the sun. Imagine without the sun, if you're in fucking Jersey during like December, how bad the sleep would be if you weren't
Well,
getting
you're
the
a
sun.
lot healthier because you're getting the vitamin D, and that's vital to fighting off infection and colds. So I very rarely get sick. But again, I'm from New York. I just came back from New York. I'm actually on vacation. I was on the plane when I was speaking to you on Discord about the Pittsburgh game that went down last night, and I did lay off.
Thank you,
Over.
Chris. I knew you wanted to hit that.
I did, but I don't want to feel like a degen. I know how you come off like I don't want to have to call the number.
The
But
one eight
I watched
hundred
that
gambling.
game. I watched that game and I was like, oh my god, it's such a great game. It was in the snow and everything. My wife was even watching, and she's like, look at this. There's snow on the ground. This is insane. And then in the second half, it got like extremely bad with the snow to the point where you couldn't even see. The guys in the booth couldn't even see what was going on the field. You know, it was fun, but I
It
laid
was the
off.
best game of the year for me.
So far, so far. I mean,
It,
exciting wise. Oh, just quickly. Anybody that is on here with me right now, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. My restaurant people and my customers, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. All right, let's go.
Sounds
Okay.
good, Chris. All right, what game do you want to make money on? Because I'm starting with your Dolphins. I don't want to give away bets, but
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking to flip. I'm looking to flip a G this week. Okay. I know that they like to say don't put all your eggs in one basket. I'm trying not to do that. But there's a few games that I like. But usually this time during the week I have three-quarters of my bets in. I have nothing in so far. I held back because I wanted to speak with my Discord guys and my Patreon guys and you before because this is, I mean, I'm getting around the holidays and I need to make this count. Been profitable for the last 6 weeks in a row. Last week I went 4-3. I switched my bet to Bengals from the Chargers, and if it wasn't for those two back-to-back missed field goals by that piece of shit, I would have hit. We all would have hit.
they
You
found a
know?
way to, yeah, like it would have been a perfect week. It would have been a perfect week for me, which it
Yeah, I
was
would have
like
been five
five
and
and one
two.
already. You got fucked on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I would have been 5-2. I took that and the over. It would have hit. That parlay would have hit. But the Bengals fucked me over. So,
It is
um,
it, Chris. Like being profitable for 6 weeks is a blessing for God. Like it's
yeah,
been a good run we've been on. So all right,
yeah. The
let's get
last
to the
3 weeks
game.
have been ridiculous. Last 3 weeks, I can't. I mean, literally in the money hard. You know what I'm saying? So I want to keep that going. I got Christmas coming. I got two small children, two little girls, and a wife that doesn't work. So I need to flip this G real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing is, though, here's the thing: the spreads here in Florida, it's illegal to bet in a lot of platforms. All you have is Hard Rock, and I'm not fucking getting on Hard Rock. Okay, so I got to use Bet US. It's an offshore site. I can't even get Bet 365 here. They won't allow me to use that in Florida. Okay, um, so my lines are a little wonky. Um, you know, and it pisses me off because I'm seeing you guys are getting 7 with Detroit. I'm getting 9. Okay,
Yeah,
and that's
you
a game.
can't do the nine, Chris. Like just fundamentally,
Yeah,
you can't.
yeah. I mean, even though they're probably going to beat them by 20, I can't bring myself to do it. So that's a game I'm going to tease down. Like the Chiefs, they got at 11. I think that's kind of normal, which I don't think they're going to cover.
That's normal. That's normal.
Yeah. And then I got Washington at 10.5. I think that's normal too. And
That's
I kind of
normal. It should be 10 though. It should be 10. But
Yeah, I
wait,
mean, I kind of like that game, but these division games, I mean, you see what happens when these guys play each other. It's very tough. They play extra hard. They play each other twice a year. It's like they know each other's playbooks halfway. And it's like almost like it's hard to cover a double digit spread. But I'm kind of leaning towards that. But I haven't bet it yet.
it's not
Um,
something we want to do, but also I know you guys don't buy into Commanders like me, but if there's a few teams like for instance, you were pushing me to go bet Detroit against the Jags.
yeah.
The fundamentals were right because when they put their fucking foot on the gas, they fucking go. Okay. So
Hopefully Discord got my message on Atlanta. And I put on there, Atlanta's going to lose this game, guys. Atlanta's going to lose this game. Holt. You know what I'm saying? Do not bet Atlanta. I don't know if everybody got it or not, but that was one of the games that I hit. I originally was taking Atlanta, and then I had a bad dream about it, and I was like, nope. And then I went against it. Um, what was the? Oh, and then the Eagles, right? I got 3 minus 3, and I've seen what the Dolphins did to the Rams in terms of coverage down the field and stopping the run, and it seems like there's been a resurgence. Jalen Carter in the middle with the Eagles, they're stopping the run. They're tightening up on defense. And although they got Nakua back and Cup back on the field, and Kyron is a great running back, I don't think the defense is actually is actually up to par with
I
with
think they're
Eagles.
overperforming their like talent level. Like their defensive line is really good. Also, I just want to read a message for you from Ron. Ron says, Chris, use bet now, not bet US.
Bet
I'll
now.
put, yeah, I'll put it up in the so you can see it on the screen. And Angela sends a $20 super chat. Let's get this holiday money. Thank you, Angela.
Yes, yes,
Let me
sir.
put this up on the board so you can see. It might be good for you, Chris. Like you can't lose if they're giving you fucking -9. Like, come
Yeah,
on, that's fucking.
yeah, I call the department that does the spreads, and I complained because I've been watching it all week and it's been 9 all week, and I'm looking at everywhere else it's 7.5, and it's fucking pissing me off because that those 2 points matter. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's 7, I'm betting that.
Chris, because that's huge. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, they're not like screwing you on a key number, but also like you're passing 7.5, so you're already passing a key number, and then there's just adding 2 on just to like the fucking like taunt.
Yeah, like a juice. You know what I'm saying? Or to lay off of it, because they know they're gonna. I don't know what they're trying
because
to do.
they're worried because they don't want to get leverage.
Yeah. So and this is like an offshore place. I think they're in Guam or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what. But it's not good. So yeah, I was looking at Detroit -9, Washington -10.5, Tampa Bay -6, Miami -7, and Philly -3. And I know it looks bad because they're all favorites, and there's no week except for like 1 week where all the favorites won. I think there's only 1 week that
Oh, I
happened.
don't think about that. Like we've been slamming favorites. Like you
Yeah.
have to do it.
So I'm going to leave Detroit off, and I think I'm going to tease that. I'm probably going to stick with Washington with the 10.5. I'm going to stick with Miami, although I was watching a lot of people fading Miami this week with that 7.
Oh yeah, dude, but they're so behind on the Patriots. Like I was first on the Patriots to get excited, but here's my rationale. Let me comfort you because listen, that one cannot hit. 7's a lot. Okay, firstly, Miami 1 o'clock. Firstly, like let's just start there. Miami 1 o'clock. That's great for me. That's one of the best
At
home
home.
field advantages.
Yeah.
Secondly, Drake May, like I've been saying ever since he got in there, he adds so much value. Like, listen, he's getting pressured 2 times more. I posted the graph. No one understands it in Discord, but I posted the graph to prove a point. He's getting pressured way more than Caleb Williams, but he's able to avoid it, and he knows how to manipulate the pocket. Okay, great, but there are limits to this, and Miami's getting more pressure as the year goes on. So I just feel like there's only so much he can do. Thirdly, something you already said, Patriots have a hard time running the ball regardless. Miami's run D has been absolutely phenomenal last 4 weeks. We've been saying this Miami defense is underrated the whole year. We look like idiots. Now it's starting to come to fruition. 5, this Patriots defense is really bad. I feel like Christian Gonzalez, like they say he's like a top 5 corner. Like if you even look at his advanced statistics, he's giving up tons of separation. I just feel like you're going to cook him. So that's where I'm at. Like, I feel like you're going to cook that secondary. I don't think they're going to get pressure on Tua. I'm not sure they stop the Dolphins run game. I think Dolphins are going to slam them. Like, I think this is going to be like old Dolphins. Like, yes, we have to be worried about the Dolphins laying 7 because, like, you know better than us. Like, it's a slower pace. Like, it's a fucking grind watching the Dolphins. It's not the same Dolphins when they put up fucking 70 on the Broncos. But if you can't stop the Dolphins' run game, you're going to get fucking cooked. And when have the Patriots stopped anyone's run this whole year? I'll let you talk.
Well, what McDaniel has done is he kind of like reinvented the offense. He knows that the big play is still available, but what he did was he's become more methodical, controlling the clock. There was a point where they would not run the ball at all, and they had some players like Achan and Mostert that were averaging 4 and 5 yards a carry, and they weren't utilizing them. He was pass happy. He became predictable. and they were, draping safeties over both receivers, and then they weren't open. And then if you're covered down the field, then Tua has nowhere to throw, and he needs to be throwing, no more than 3 seconds after he gets the ball. He needs to get the ball 1, 2, 3 out. Okay, and if he's not doing that, he's going to have problems. So now what they're doing is they're doing a lot of bubble screens. They're still doing that, but more effectively, running the ball along with those, and then throwing the ball downfield to keep everybody honest. And that's what they've been doing, a new recipe for their offense, and it's been working. They I think they scored like 25, 28, and then 34. So they're trending up in terms of scoring points, and the defense has been really kicking it in. But the defense has been a backbone for them all year. If it wasn't for that defense, the Dolphins would have been. I mean, it looked bad in the beginning when Tua went down, but if it wasn't for that defense, I mean, it could have been really bad. People don't know how good this defense really is, even with the injuries that they have. You have no Chubb, you have no Jalen Phillips. Zealer was out. I thought he was going to be out for the year, but he came back last week, thank God. So with him and Calais and Campbell in the middle, they're stuffing the run. So and their coverages. I mean, I know Fuller is down now, but I mean, Jalen Ramsey has been picking. I think he has 2 interceptions in 2 games.
Bro, he's
Uh,
been playing great. It's just tackling. Okay,
yeah.
like if like they're playing hard. I thought maybe they would quit like 3 weeks ago, but they didn't. So
No, and now they're trending upwards, right? And now they're winning money. And I wanted to touch base on something that you made a video about, about favorite teams and the fandism that's been going on. I'm a diehard Miami Dolphin fan since 1982. Against the Colts, I played the Colts and won big money because I knew that they weren't ready for that game and I was going to win money. This is how we pay our bills. You know what I'm saying? What comes first is my family, then the Dolphins, right? I mean, all teams are is a nice colorful jersey. Everybody is looking at the colorful jerseys and that's their favorite jersey. At the end of the day, it's your pocket and your family that matters. You need to make money. And that's what I'm doing. And people get on me. How do you bet? Against the Dolphins. How do you bet? How do you? Well, I do it because I'm a handicapper. I've been doing it since 1996. That's the first year that the Yankees went on their run. Me being from New York, and you were asking how did we bet back then? There was this thing that we used to get from the deli. It was called a newspaper. You would fold, you would open it up, and then there would be a sports section. And in there, it would have on Thursday up until Sunday, it would show the spreads, and then you would watch the show called ESPN Sports Center, and you would see all the highlights throughout the week or whatever, and then you would go towards last week and you would look at all the games on the Fox scores in the newspaper and be like, wow, okay, they covered last week, and that's how you would bet. Not like today where you just go online and you have all the information there. You would actually have to read. I know that's weird, right?
well, it would be nice if there was more of an access to it. And Lauren, I'm gonna unmute your mic, but we're getting lots of background from you, Lauren. So it's just trying to fix that. I'm gonna unmute your mic. You
Yeah,
there, Lauren?
background. Hey,
Okay. Okay, sounds good, Lauren. Anyways, yeah. So Chris, finish your games and we'll let Lauren get in.
Okay, so
But while you're looking, I actually think it would be great to have like some sort of access point because people are going too crazy with the parlays. Like we see in Discord, like they slam them. It's just like some people go too crazy with them.
yeah.
Just
So I mean, those were the five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So Detroit, Washington, Tampa Bay, Miami, and Philly. Those are the ones that I had. Those are my money picks that I had. Um, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to stick with Tampa Bay and Miami and Washington right now. Out of those five, I'm probably going to, from what I'm hearing from Philly, I liked Philly with giving the three, but I got people talking me out of it. And then the Detroit at 9. I guess those are two games that I might tease, and I might stick with Washington, Tampa Bay, and Miami.
I don't disagree. So a little bit nervous about Tampa Bay. We'll let Lauren get in. Let's see what Lauren's thinking. Lauren, what's up? Lauren, what's up? I don't
can you
think
guys
she's here.
can
Okay,
you hear me?
hear you. Go on,
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I already said I'm very, very high on Arizona. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. Their run game is ranked 5, which there's 32 teams. I'm going pretty hard on Arizona this week.
Yeah, you heard my opinion. I wouldn't do it, but I would bet.
I know you wouldn't do it.
Cardinals.
I know you wouldn't do it, but I absolutely love it. I
I,
absolutely
I,
love it.
I have them as a pick 'em, Lauren. A pick 'em, Lauren. Why do you think it's so close on the spread?
I mean, the game's in Seattle, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, Seattle gets 3 for home field. And
Yeah, go on.
I mean, isn't it 3? Like, don't you get 3 for that? Like,
I think it's 2.
2, whatever. I mean,
Yeah, it's state. Yeah, anyways.
Arizona's the better team. Let's just be. Kyler's playing lights out. I mean, we cannot ignore the fact that Kyler is playing lights out. Give me the better quarterback. Give me the better coach. Give me the team that is absolutely not one-dimensional.
No, I agree.
I agree. I think Kyler Murray's a top 10 quarterback in the league right now.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, though, I don't know what product they're going to put out on the field from week to week. I was like, 1 week they're phenomenal, or 2 weeks in a row, and then they come back down to earth. I was like, I'm scared. You know what I'm saying?
The home road splits are fucking bad. And I like the Cardinals, but the home road splits are scary. Like that performance they put forth at Green Bay was scary. So, but I get it. Like you can't like get scared because of one game. It is what it is. It is interesting though. And I'm looking at in that game, like I do wonder if Seattle can stop the run. Because Seattle's gotten better at stopping the run, but we'll see. I think Kyler Murray goes off, though, so I'm worried about Geno's.
I highly think he goes off, and quite frankly, it comes down to not being one-dimensional. There's limits with Geno. There really is. He turns the ball over. Kyler doesn't, and Kyler's a better scrambler. He protects the ball better. He's literally Kyler is, in my opinion, really, really like I think he's one of the I'd say top 6 quarterbacks right now. I wouldn't even go top 10. I'd say top 6 at least. Connor's playing great, so he's got a lot of weapons. Trey McBride has just absolutely blossomed into an elite tight end.
Yeah, he's top 5 in the league.
Yeah, all day. And, so quite frankly, if you're going to give me a pick 'em, just to pick the better team, I'm picking the better team.
What do you feel about what do you feel about the over-under in there? I know you had it as a money pick, John, at 47.5.
47.5.
Dude, the weather's not going to be good either. It's
oh, really? I haven't checked.
Listen, like one thing about Seattle, they actually moved the ball pretty good 20-20. They're just really bad in the red zone. And when I look at Arizona's defense, like you talk about John Gannon being the better coach, which I agree with, Arizona's better situationally. Like in the red zone, they're better offensively. Their defense is very good in the red zone. I haven't seen the stats, but their red zone defense is very good. And obviously Seattle can't do anything in the red zone. We've seen the turnovers from Geno. A lot of them happen in the red zone, which are fucking backbreakers. And like I said, I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. Like, I do think there's some variance and luck with turnovers. Like, for instance, like that turnover, Justice Hill got taken away from the Steelers. Like, listen, that's a little bit of luck, not taking anything away, great play, whatnot. But a lot of these turnovers from Seattle are like unforced errors. And then also, like, when's Seattle going to get the run game going? Like, I mean, they haven't ran the ball the whole fucking year. The offense line's not great at pass blocking. So I know Arizona doesn't have that elite pass rusher, but Arizona's able to get pressure because they're well coached. So that's where I'm at on it. I like the under. I absolutely.
I can definitely see a recipe for the under, and like you pretty much just pointed out everything I was saying. Like that they are a lot more red zone efficient than a lot of teams, not just Seattle, but a lot of teams. And they're not one-dimensional. Seattle is literally just trying to get it to DK Metcalf, and if he's not there, They're throwing in, whoever, tight end they've got going on right now. And Tyler Lockett makes a catch or two every 3 games. They have the Jackson Smith Najigba. He's not he's not bad.
Both of those two guys are overrated, man.
Yeah,
Like Tyler
very
Lockett,
overrated.
one of the most overrated players in the league.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing with Christian Gonzalez on the Patriots.
I mean, he's been there since Doug Baldwin was there. You know what I mean? And Doug Baldwin's been gone for I don't know how long. So you have to really look at the efficiency, and you have to look at the talent. Talent-wise, Arizona ranks way above Seattle. So,
I don't know about that.
And I do. If you look at coaching, you look at the run game, you look at the red zone efficiency. To me, and I was on Seattle against Atlanta when nobody else was. Okay, just because of the timing. But I'm telling you right now, Arizona, I believe, wins this game easily.
And who are their wideouts? You still have Metcalf and Lockett over there, right?
Yeah, they got Smith and Jigba. They got a white guy. I'm forgetting his name. Like it's just like, dude, yeah, they're gonna throw it. It's just like my problem is in the red zone and the turnovers, and they can't.
And Walker hasn't done anything. Kenneth Walker, and I haven't even heard his name.
No, and he makes great plays. It's just like he runs into a fucking brick wall. So like it is what it is. That's my take on it.
And then my next game that I absolutely love is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So you like the Cards and the under?
I can see a recipe for the under. I'm not a huge over-under better, to be honest with you. I'm just not, because I don't sit there and the weather is always a factor, and I don't pay attention to that so as much as I probably should when it comes to that, unless someone's like telling me about it, So like obviously last night wasn't obvious, but the over-under.
It still went over last night.
I know, and the number was so damn low. That's why I don't touch that shit, because I'm like, you know what I mean? You think it's supposed to be under because the number's like almost 12. You know, and you're just like, and somehow it doesn't make it. So I just, I can't. I try to. Unless someone has a really good like read on it or slams me a money pick, I'll just take their advice. I'm not a huge over under unless I see something that's like, that jumps out at me. But I'm very high on Philly this week. Since the bye, I think Philly, since their bye, they've gone 5-0. They're really gelling as a team. Their defense is definitely doing well. Their run game has been, top notch since the beginning. Jalen's playing good. Their wide receivers are, I don't know, they're always open. So I think that the Rams are definitely healthier than they were, so they have more talent than they did for a while, but I don't think they can keep up with Philly. I just don't. I think that the Philly defense is going to stop the run because they're going to rely on Kyren Williams, and if they get down too much, they won't even be able to use Kyren. I just don't think they can catch up. They can keep up with Philly. I got Philly at 2.5 on Wednesday, so I slammed it then.
It's still that on a lot of books. So
okay.
Yeah, I got them at 3, and I was high on them all week until I started hearing voices telling me to overthink it. But the Phillies receivers create massive separation. It seems like
they're always open. They're always open.
Yeah, and Saquon is. He's at an epic level. They're talking about him for MVP right now. With what he's doing.
And a running back, and no one's done that since Adrian Peterson.
Oh, they won't give it to a fucking running back.
No, they won't. It's a quarterback.
They should think about it.
Yeah, and no running backs had that since Adrian Peterson.
And not only that, Rams, they're at home, but they don't really consider that even a home field advantage over there. They don't really
it's not.
No,
it'll be like a 50-50 split.
Yeah. So
I got to tell you something that I think in this game. Why on Tuesday I made the Eagles a money pick. I'm worried about McVay, guys. Now I know the Monday night game, His coaching was on full display, his game management. And we can pick on Todd Bowles, but I'm worried about McVay's coaching. And everyone will pick on Sirianni because he makes the aggressive plays. But some of McVay's coaching and game management this year has been absolutely fucking tragic. Even against the Rams, even against the Patriots, he almost cost us that fucking cover, by the way. It's just the way he coaches games, the way he coaches in the red zone. He gets very conservative. And that Miami game speaks for itself. I didn't prepare what I wanted to say, but I don't know, man. McVay is really bad at game theory. Like, he just needs to do game theory like Todd Bowles. Like, he's bad. Just saying. So I like Sirianni in this matchup, as crazy and contrarian as that sounds.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins exploited him on that primetime game on Monday night, made him look really bad. Because I mean, I had the Dolphins to win and cover that game, but not by that much.
Well, did you see the way he was coaching the end of the game? Like, he was coaching for field goals and he needed touchdowns, and that's like one of the. It's not fresh in people's minds right now, but it's been bad. It's been a problem for like 2.5, 3 years. And he used to not be like this. So we can get on to the next game. But, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. I actually think Sirianni has a big advantage. And I'd rather go down swinging. If I'm laying points, I want the coach who goes down swinging like Dan Campbell in the NFC Championship game, rather than a guy who's going to kick a fucking field goal who makes the game 8 points with 50 seconds left when onside kicks are fucking impossible to get.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's retarded. All right, next game, Lauren.
Well, I didn't know about Brock Purdy's issues until today, but I was on Green Bay at -2.5. I guess
I like Green Bay too. I just feel like we can't bet it now.
I don't. Who's the backup in San Fran? Who is it?
I don't
Brandon
even know.
Allen.
Who?
Brandon Allen. I'm just saying.
From Carolina?
I didn't look
the
it
guy
up.
from Carolina? Isn't he from Carolina?
That's Kyle Allen, but Brandon Allen might have played.
My bad.
I know who Braylon Allen is. I don't know who Brandon Allen is.
I don't know. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, I actually got it right. I'm surprised I actually hit that. Yeah, Brandon Allen. He played a few games for the Broncos. He was with the Rams and Jags. He might have played a game with the Jags his rookie year. He was with the Bengals, but he didn't get in, Lauren. So.
Okay, well, that's concerning that nobody knows who the hell he is. So, I guess I'm still on Green Bay.
Yeah, but that line moves up to 5.5 now from 3, which I don't think is going to be a big deal.
I don't either. I mean, and I think that there's other injuries in San Fran too. Isn't Bosa hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another problem.
Yeah, Ayuk is out. He's on IR.
Right. Yeah, he's been out.
McCaffrey is back, but I don't know how they're going to be able to utilize him. They're going to corral him. I mean, if he's the only offensive weapon, him and Debo.
They can only do so much with what they've got to work with.
Well, they didn't run the ball good last week.
No, they didn't.
Which was concerning.
No, yeah.
And also, one reason why I didn't make Green Bay a money pack. Here's why. I think both of these defenses are overrated. Firstly, I've been overrating the Packers defense this whole year. Firstly, so I was wrong on that. I've been right about the 49ers defense, and I really want to get against this 49ers defense. It's just the Packers team total might not be the way to go now due to they might not even need many points. So that's why I wanted to attack the game that way, actually. So I just feel like we can't really bet it, but I'm worried about San Fran in the red zone if Purdy's in or out. And then also, like, I've had some strong opinions on quarterbacks this year. I guess people are agreeing with the Kyler Murray one. But one of my strong opinions is Brock Purdy's actually playing his best football this year, and yet they still kind of struggle on offense, which is fucking confounding. So, yeah, man. Next game.
So what do we think is going to happen when they don't even have Brock Purdy? Like, you know what I mean? So
I wouldn't want to get against San Fran in this at 5.5, and it's going to push up to like 6.5. So I wouldn't want to get against that. That's me. Not for that price. For 2.5, it's a different fucking story.
Do you have another game, Lauren?
Yeah. Next game. Next game. All right, I think we're done. So
Can we
I
talk?
do like Baltimore. I know that you've got a lot of hims and haws about it, but I do like.
Oh, I got a ton. I got a ton of fucking hims and haws about the Eagles. And every time I pick the Eagles this year, there's fucking hims and haws. So like,
well, that's how I feel about Miami and Cleveland. Okay, so we had this talk before, but I know there's a lot of hims and haws about Baltimore just because of their late presentation of issues. I guess
Well,
that's the way I can
you
put
said
it.
there was no money with Miami, and they're in the money 2 weeks in a row. They're going to go again this week, so you should get
No,
on that.
all I said is they're on my no-fly zone because of how erratic they are.
Well, are they on the tarmac now? Are they on the tarmac now?
I mean, yeah, I can see it. I can see them being on the tarmac now.
Can we talk about the Tampa Bay Giants game real quick?
Oh yeah, we need to because we got Danny Dimes lost his job.
Right?
yeah, he's released. So.
I got -6. I mean, am I betting this game or what? Like,
I would. It's one of those ones like I might be teasing. Like that's one I'm gonna have to think about when I get off of here. Listen, ma'am, because from my information, Mike Evans is gonna play.
that's huge. That's huge.
And
That's a blowout, bro.
and here's my thing.
There's a recipe for a bad day in New York.
Oh,
There's
really?
a
For
recipe
cutlets?
for both teams to look like shit. The 41, I think, says it all.
Dude,
But
Tampa
also,
Bay has been putting up points all year long with both their receivers out. I mean, they gave the work to the Ravens. I mean, they scored almost 66 points, 65 points that game, and they've been putting up points all year long with no receivers.
they got the best. I think they got the best offensive coordinator outside of Johnson in Detroit in the league. Like Liam Cohen's been absolutely brilliant.
And what, the Giants coaching staff is any better? I don't think so. And what,
No.
Cutlass is going to light it up all of a sudden off the bench? I don't know.
I want to get against this Tommy DeVito narrative.
Yeah.
Like I know it's a good story and everything, but I want to get
story years ago. 2 years ago. I mean,
Chris, I want to get against narratives. Like one guy on Discord was telling me that the Miami Dolphins are 0-7 on Monday Night Football games. Well, Jay Fielder and Dave Wanstead aren't fucking walking out there for the love of God for all of our viewing pleasure. So, like, I want to get against narratives. I want to get against trends, and that's
why do people do that though? I'm sorry to interrupt. No, I'm sorry to interrupt. But like, why do people compare the Jay Cutler Chicago Bears or the Ryan Tannehill Miami Dolphins? I don't understand it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Well, back when Cutler was around, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
Lord, you were on this station remember when we started fading Teddy when he was with the Dolphins and the Panthers?
Yeah.
And people would still shit out stats that he was 23-5 because he was able to start for the Vikings, and the Vikings would give up 6 points every fucking home game, and the Vikings would win like 17-6. And of course they covered the spread. And then Sean Payton was brilliant with him. Trevor Siemian probably has a positive spread record. It's just, I think the world is so complicated and there's so much information that people look for any little thing to just try to make a complex world more simple.
The rosters are different. The rosters aren't the same. They're different rosters.
Chris, it's fucking ridiculous. Okay, like someone said,
like, I don't get it. When people talk, they're like, oh well, all of the stats for the Saints, they're all Drew Brees driven from our winning years. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, he's not there anymore. Neither is Peyton.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh my God, yeah, first ballot. And let's talk about Taysom Hill for a minute, just for 1 second. Just give the man his moment. How about the Saints beating the shit out of Cleveland last week? How about Taysom Hill single-handedly beat the shit out of the Saints?
How did they not tackle that guy? How did they not tackle that guy like that, man?
Oh, because he's amazing.
Yeah, he's just so fast. I don't know.
He,
Fastest white guy I've ever seen.
he's a truck. He's a truck. He just
They didn't
plows
even put
through
their hands
people.
on him. They couldn't even put their hands on him.
They
I was
couldn't.
laughing when I saw that.
They were falling on their face trying to catch him. You saw
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, he's so fast. He's
But
blazing
yeah,
speed.
but yeah, with the Tampa game, Chris, here's what I'm looking at. I'll let Lauren have her take, but Giants run defense has been bad. And that's one thing I want to get against as well. Dexter Lawrence was grumbling that DeVito got the job, and I kind of agree with him. Like, I'm a Daniel Jones like hater, but also like, listen, man, there's a reason why he was number one on the depth chart. If he got hurt, the Giants were on the hook to pay him next year, and it would have been guaranteed. So, like, Dexter Lawrence didn't agree with the decision. And listen, there's a reason why Drew Lock was ahead of Tommy DeVito on the depth chart the whole time. They could have just cut Drew Lock at any time, to be honest. Like, if they had like 5 wins right now, Drew Lock would be starting, in my opinion. So let me just bring this back to what I was saying about Dexter Lawrence. So you have one of the best defensive tackles in the league, okay? They can't stop the fucking run, and they quit in games. They're poorly coached. Look, the players check out of games. Like, look at Jaden Daniels' long touchdown pass to Terry McLaurin with like 12 seconds left. And they just make bonehead plays every single week, and they don't understand situational football. And I'm not sure it's even Daboll. I just think the team's heart's not in it. And maybe you put in DeVito, maybe it creates some vibes, but I think Tampa Bay runs the ball down their throat. And then with Mike Evans back, like you said, this Tampa Bay offense is very, very good. So
there's also something to be said with this game. This game is very important for Tampa. Tampa has not won a game in a while, okay? And they've gone into overtime. They've come close. They lost their 2 main weapons, which was Godwin and Evans. Thankfully, Evans, from what you say, sounds like he's coming back this week. Let's hope for him.
Oh,
But
God.
Atlanta has lost. Carolina has won. The Saints have won, now 2 in a row. So this game is actually very important for Tampa. If they want to stay in the race for the NFC South, this is their chance to kind of catch Atlanta. Atlanta's not playing this week. The Saints aren't playing this week. And you know, the Saints have been winning. I mean, their biggest streak 2. You know, it's a streak 2. And Atlanta's been losing. So Tampa legit has to win this game. And they're probably going to come out with, you know, fire on their ass.
Can
yeah,
I
it's
just
an
mention
Alamo
something? Okay.
situation. I didn't even think about that because it is an Alamo situation. And Tampa Bay was one of the things that helped us settle on the Bills last week because, like I said, I'm not trying to beat my own chest, but I do feel like Tampa Bay exposed one thing of the Chiefs was their lack of depth in the secondary at nickel, second string corner, safety.
Yeah.
I felt like Tampa exposed that, and you add Mike Evans to the mix. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, if he was there, they probably would have won that game, Mike Evans.
Or if Todd Bowles knew how to coach.
Can I just ask a question real quick about Atlanta? I hate Atlanta. They've lost me money all year. Very few teams that have been historically bad with me. I know that when you bet them and they won, I didn't, and then when I bet them, they did. And when I bet them, they lost. You know what I'm saying? But how do you have that much fucking talent on a team and then you don't utilize that talent? You have a tight end. You have a tight end with a 6 foot or a 10-foot wingspan. You can't throw him the ball. You have an elite running back that doesn't touch the ball the way that he should. Okay, I know Drake London was out for a game or 2, but I mean, how do you get blown out by Denver like that? I knew it was going to happen. I knew something bad was going to happen. I was going to bet them again, and I stopped. Why are they so bad?
Here's the thing. I think Raheem Morris
sucks.
Listen, he's really bad. He's been a disaster, and I think that's the main problem with the team.
Yeah.
Because that defense got better on paper. Like, I know they lost Calais Campbell, but you add Judon. Look at their secondary. Their secondary's fucking stacked. Yeah, they can't cover anyone, and they're doing worse than last year with way more talent. Also, offensively, they were moving the ball up and down on Denver, but here's the issue with the Falcons' offense, in my opinion. Like you said, the the coordinator who came over from the Rams, he wants to throw it 50 fucking times a game like he did against Tampa Bay, which just isn't sustainable. And it's not how the offensive line was built or drafted. That offensive line is good going forward, being physical. Secondly, they make no explosive plays. Everything is underneath. They play in a small little box. Everything's 5 yards, 7 yards. And then against the Broncos, just waited for them to make mistakes, which they do because they're a sloppy, poorly coached football team that has a ton of penalties like the Houston Texans on offense. And then you get pushed back to 2nd and 17. Then you can tee off on Kirk, and then they're going to get fucking ass blasted.
That's what happened.
Well, I wish somebody would have told me that Atlanta was going to lose last week, so I didn't bet them.
I put them on Discord.
I don't. I'm not even on Discord.
Oh,
but Lauren, it's. Listen, I didn't put it on Friday. People were rizzing me about that. I didn't put it on Friday. Like, there's a reason why people subscribe to Patreon. Like, the Tuesday picks aren't necessarily what's going to be up on Friday. Like, we have to think throughout the week. But Lauren, I don't think Atlanta was like the bad play everyone was like saying, like hindsight bias. And I want to get against the Broncos. I also want to get against the Broncos this week. I just don't want to bet Gardner Minshew. But I wouldn't be surprised if the fucking Raiders beat them.
I can't see that, man. I can't see that.
Chris, you couldn't see the Panthers beating the Giants. These are long shots, man. These are long shots.
I mean, the Giants aren't exactly like
that
somebody can't beat. Like,
I think the Giants have more talent than the Broncos.
I took the Giants that game, but I mean, I could see them losing that game. Denver. I know it's at Vegas, but I don't see them. I mean, maybe not covering the 6, but I don't see them losing. I would not take Vegas money line. If anything, I would take Vegas with the points.
Well, Chris, yeah, but like, I don't trust Vegas with the 6 points at -120. I'd trust them more at +290. So I bet half as much and win double.
Oh,
it's just like that's where we're at with Vegas. Like,
I see the score being 28-10. You know what I'm saying? Like,
which I'm telling you, man, this Denver offense, they just throw screen passes and they give up the most quick pressures in the league. And if Vegas can do one thing good, they don't do a lot good, although I think their running game's underrated, although stats probably don't show it. But the only thing Vegas seems to do well is get pressure on the quarterback. Broncos are giving up a ton of quick pressures on Bo Nix. I want to see what the Raiders do. Like I said, like, we shouldn't be batting it. Like, I'm not going to have a lot of variety on Patreon.
I'm not touching it.
We're attacking. So.
Yeah, I don't know. You couldn't. I don't know if I'd play that game with your money.
No, like, I'm not playing that game.
I can't trust Gardner Minshew to make shit work right. I just can't.
Okay, and I don't want to go back to earlier in the year, week 5. Okay, we don't want to go back because these teams are evolving. Like, I hate when people do that. But these two teams played at Mile High. And I think a factor in that Falcons game was Mile High. Bad fundamentals betting Atlanta. My fault on the Tuesday video. Got a little bit headstrong. Okay, so let's go back to that Raiders game. Raiders were dominating that game in the first half. They were up 10-0. They were at the 17-yard line, 15-yard line of the Broncos. Perfect play action pass. Brock Bowers floating in the end zone alone. Minshew slams it over. Surtain, pick 6, 10-7, over. Game over. Then they get fucking blown out. They were dominating that game. I like this Raiders defense against the Broncos offense. Now, there were Raiders fans in the chat saying, the Raiders are banged up in the secondary, which I knew I knew Jones was going to be out, which is a little bit concerning. But let's see what happens, man. I'm going to enjoy
the Raiders beat the Ravens. Remember? I lost money on that game. A lot of money on that game.
Well, who did it? It's just like, who did
what
it?
the fuck happened there?
Everyone who says they did it, it's fucking lying to you. Someone had that on a t-shirt.
I got killed on that game, bro.
Dude, someone had that on a teaser at the very least, and someone was laying a 9.5. I remember a 9.5.
Well, that's why, those first 5 or 6 games of the year, everybody's touching and feeling to see what everybody is. Nobody knows who anybody is until, almost halfway through the season anyway.
And I used to be great at starting the seasons.
It's tough, man.
This year was fucking tough, man. And I felt like I had a better read than before. It's just, it's crazy. All right, next game. What game you guys want to talk about before?
I need to talk about the Washington Cowboy game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one to talk about because, quite frankly, Dallas looks like shit in a box right now. But I don't know.
Lauren, did you follow me on Monday night with the Texans -7?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Because I
hammered
it. Followed me there.
Oh my gosh!
Early in the week, and I felt like no one followed me there. And we,
I was.
And we hit the Eagles before, and the Eagles played like shit the whole first half, and we still hit that easy. Like, all right, go on. I'll let you guys talk.
I'm just saying, I don't know what I don't Rico Dowdle and the backup, whatever his name is.
Cooper.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb Cooper Rush. CeeDee Lamb can only do so much, and this Washington offense is just I don't know what number you guys are getting. I think it was 10.5.
I got 10.5 right now.
Yeah.
Guys, just wait. You guys could get it at 10. Chris, I don't know.
CeeDee Lamb is the only bright spot on that team right now. They're using him in every faction. I mean, he's rushing the ball. He's getting screens. They're throwing him down the field. I mean, they're not running. I don't even know who their running back is anymore. Do they even run the ball?
It's Rico Dowdle, and he's been very anemic.
Yeah, well, they can't run the ball regardless.
And they can't stop anybody either. Their amazing defense that started the season that's supposed to be absolutely phenomenal has gone down to shit. You know why? Because they're on the field for 55 minutes straight.
I'm trying to figure out.
They played good the first half against the Eagles, and listen,
right, but you're going to get gassed after a while. They're tired.
And they're giving up. Like, look at Micah Parsons this
year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't leave the defense on the field 3/4 of the game and expect them to just be superior like they're supposed to be. They're going to be good in the first half, and then they're going to get tired.
Well, and here's the thing. Washington's defense is slowly getting better. We saw them stop the run really good against Saquon. And I know, like, after that 4th down that Quinn missed, I took some egg on the face. Okay, fair enough. I'm willing to do that. But also, one thing that Washington defense has is a bunch of above-average role players like Jeremy Chin from the Panthers, Louisville. They got a bunch of guys from the Cowboys who are role players who are fucking dogs on the front. Armstrong, one of the better pass rushers. They're fucking dogs. Lattimore's not going to play. But the thing with Cooper Rush, everything's underneath. One thing I felt like we were going to see from Cooper Rush, you guys remember when he came in 2 years ago? Let's just say that.
I know, 4 games, whatever.
No, yeah, he was slinging it down the field, Lauren. He won't throw it over 5 yards now. So
I know it's a lot of dinking and dunking because I don't know. They're very. I am not high on McCarthy as a coach. I never have been. So personally, I think that this is going to be a huge mismatch. I think there's going to be – I'm willing to lay the 10. I really am. I'm willing to lay the 10. The game
lay the 10.5, guys. Like, find a way to get it at 10. Like I told everyone.
By the half point.
You guys saw me tell everyone. When the Texans were at 7.5, when I posted it last week on a Wednesday, I said, listen, guys, it's going to go down to 7. Like, you're going to see it at 7 at some point. Same thing I said about the Dolphins this week. You're going to see it back down at 7 at some point. Like, don't panic. And yeah, man, like, it's not going to go like to 11. Okay, like.
Right.
My main thing is this. It's 10.5 points where I'm at right now. I kind of think that Washington, they're at home. I kind of feel like they know they're going to win the game. Are they going to put the foot down on the neck and make sure they're fucking dead the whole way, or are they going to let up and win by 6 points? That what I'm saying. That's the main thing. I'm trying to figure out whether or not they're gonna fuck them until they're dead, or are they just going to methodically just win the game?
Like, you think there's going to be some garbage time or something?
There's definitely going to be garbage time. I just don't want it to be in the third quarter. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
I know. Yeah, I hear you.
But they weren't even able to get garbage time, and they got some luck against the Texans, and they weren't.
And they can't even give Aubrey a chance because they're down so damn much that they
Oh, I
can't
know.
even go for field goals. They have to go for touchdown when they're on 4th and 4.
Yeah,
Like-
no, and like that's the thing. Like one team I trust to hit the gas pedal is the no names. But like Chris said, like 10 is a lot. So listen, man, like if we're going straight spreads this week, we are going to be exposed no matter which direction we're going. Like
Yeah, because
it's a
everything
dangerous
is big. Everything is big. All the games that you want to play, the spreads are astronomically big. That's the main thing, and they should be. You know, they should
And
be.
I'm hoping everyone played Dallas or not Dallas, played Detroit to win by a million last week because they
I
did.
did.
And I
Yeah.
said
What
it on
about
the
this week?
show.
But
I
you
got 5
guys, you
points.
guys know, like I don't like fear of missing out. Like I don't like that. Like I think that's one of like the most dangerous things in like betting, like the fear of missing out. Like, yeah, man, we all look when it's like 27-3, and you know, I've seen so many games go the other way. Like I've seen my Vikings lose when laying 16.5 to the fucking Bills. So, you know, I don't have FOMO. Like, so
Listen, I'm a little worried about Detroit this week, to be honest with you. I don't like. I think Indy is not Tennessee. They're not Jacksonville. They're a little bit better. They've got a mobile quarterback. They play better with Richardson. They have more yards per play with him, like you said earlier. I'm not as convinced on Detroit this week. Last week, yes, I was. I took them minus whatever the hell it was, 12, 10, I don't know. I took them whatever, 13. Yeah, I took them minus that last week, and I felt comfortable about it. I don't feel comfortable about it this week. Not
Yeah,
at
I'm gonna
9.
tease it. I'm gonna tease it this week.
yeah, the fundamentals aren't great, guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta go. So
All right, well, good luck, everybody. Just got to poker, so that's why my camera was off. I was driving the whole time. So I hope you guys have a good, successful week. And I do have 2, maybe 3 college plays. So I know everyone asks
the
about that.
DJs want them. I think
I
Brian Webb is
know.
already asking for them.
I know they
shout
do.
out Brian.
And I hope you guys made some money on my props last week. They were some good ones. But I will definitely comment on the Patreon when you post it up tonight. It was good seeing you guys. Talk to you later.
Hey,
You too.
hey, Chris,
Yes,
look
sir.
at this one from Nick. Nick's a good guy. Do you see the screen?
Yeah, SPG Global is the best site out there to bet, even in Florida.
Check it out, man. You got nothing to fucking lose.
Yeah.
Them
I mean, 'cause
giving
these-
you Detroit -9, like, listen, some of the other ones, like, I kind of understood, but them giving you Detroit -9 is just fucking disgusting. Like,
Yeah, it's like
and
I
listen,
gotta
it's
tease that
not
down
like-
by 10. I gotta pair that with like 6 other teams and put 10 on it to make any money. You know.
All right, Chris, I'll see you, man.
All
It's fucking bullshit.
Good night, John.
All right, see you, man. Thank you for coming on, Chris. You look fucking brilliant, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Patreon bets will be up. What were we at? We're at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'll get them up like 10:30 Eastern. Should have some soccer. We're coming back from the international break on soccer. So if I lay off, we lay off, but we'll be going with the soccer. We've been good on the soccer as well. Appreciate you guys. Shout out Wade Ford. Oh, Chris, I didn't see your question about the NFC South. I'm still going to Atlanta. I'm in this fucking trench. All right, hit the like button, share the videos. Let's get this money. And Steve, I'll tell Chris that. I'm curious about his reasons. Because we got a lot of people from Florida, so they seem to use it. But I'll ask him about it. All right. I appreciate you, fucking Brian Webb. Neymar coming back to Brazil. I hope so. We need the vibes, man. We need the vibes. All right. Have a good one, guys. Yeah, my shirt's actually like Rio de Janeiro. Like, you guys can see it. It's like, it's hard to see. It's like Rio de Janeiro. All right. Let's get this money.